Okay, so what I have here is basically Adobe Audition, which is open. And in Adobe Audition, you have like there are two options. One is the waveform and one is multi-track. So I've got a file here in the waveform. So what happens here is this is the bin wherein you can put in your file. So I've already preloaded one audio file over here. And once you load your audio file, you can see it here in the view panel. So this is the entire timeline. You can see the time code here. And if you like right click on it, so you get options wherein you can, your time code, you can select which sort of time code you want. So for doing radio productions, this format is more favorable, decimal format. Then you have these other formats, which is in the frames format. So it's mostly used in movies or video productions. Then you have your beats and bars. This is more favorable for music, and that is how it is. So we would ideally select decimal for radio productions and all. Then this is the snapping. Snapping is like you have the cursor, and if you want to cut something, so this is how it's going to cut. Your razor will work accordingly. Then you have the zooming options, zoom into time, zoom out, reset, and all those options are here, right? So this is what you have, and on top, as you can see, if I drag this, so you can, this is basically a zoom feature, so you can zoom your, the entire file this way. So that is there. So this is one function. You can see this zoom icon coming also when I hover it. So you can expand and contract the waveforms. So this is for the ease of editing where exactly you want to select, make a selection. So this is a selection, so you can double click, left click with your mouse, and then make a selection. And after making the selection, you can apply effects to it or delete it, or whatever you want to do. So that feature is there. Then this is the transport panel. So you have this record, as you can see. So this is the record button. Then you have the play button, stop button, pause button, rewind and forward, and all that. And this is for loop. So if you make a selection and you want to play something in loop, so you can select this option and the file would continue to play in loop, right? And this is skip selection. So if you want, like, if your cursor is coming this way, and then you want it to be, you don't want to hear this little part, so it'll straight away you can go to the next section. Okay, the unselected part. Then you have, this is a floating toggle again, so you can pin it. So this is basically your levels. So if you make a selection, so you can increase or decrease the levels, right? So it's meant for that. And on to the right, as you can see, so this is your dBs. It's showing the dBs. So it's starting from minus infinity and gradually going up to 0 dB, because like 0 dB is the peak. Anything which crosses 0 dB, uh, it's basically, going to like uh, overdrive. So it's going to overdrive, and the sound will not increase in volume, but what will happen is it's going to like crack. So your voice is going to crack if you're using it this way. So that is how you have it here. And so this is basically, the basics of like this entire canvas. Then here in the bottom you have the levels. So if you see here, it's dB is written over here. So this dB is the same as that on this right side. which you can see. So here these peaks are going to indicate the same as what it's going to show in the meter. So if I place something, if you see, if I place something out here, uh, let me just play it from here. So you see, so this is the level meter basically
The first impression
showing
that comes.
exactly what is the level of the audio which is there on this timeline, right? And here you have the section wherein it's showing all the other details where your cursor is. So if you can see, if I move my cursor, so you see that this is start end point is showing duration and all that stuff. So if I make a selection, so you can see, so this is like the duration of 4 seconds, and likewise, okay, so 4 minutes, seconds, hour, likewise. And this is when I zoom, so you can basically see, like if you see here, so if I make a zoom selection, so you see these coordinates are also changing. So from here also I can you know change the coordinates. So likewise, so this is how it is. And then on to your left over here, you have the properties. Audio properties are there, so you have that entire duration. Then sample rate, that is 32,000 hertz. Channel is mono, 32-bit, and likewise. Okay, and here you can have your the details of the time displayed. So likewise, so we go to info, we leave that open. So that way, and then coming to some tools over here, as you can see, this is the spectral frequency of this entire audio file. So likewise, if you want to see the peaks and the crests, so you can see from here, and this is showing the frequency. So if you want to cut off particular frequency, so you can do it that way, make a selection over here, and then do whatever you want to do. So there's some advanced things which I would not suggest that you do at the moment. So this way, and then you have the pitch display also. So it's basically going to scan, and then if you need to do some pitch corrections and all, so like play around with the voice pitch and all. So all that is possible. So these are some of the features that is there in the software, which is your Adobe Audition. And then you have these other, like you have the razor tool, then you have the move tool, then you have the slip tool. So many of it is used in multi-track also, marquee tool and all. So at the moment I'm using the time selection tool, right? Because like here in this like single like audio waveform editor, you don't much require, actually you don't require the other tool, so like, you don't need to cut it, so you can simply select and just press the delete and it goes off, right? So it's basically like that. Then one very important thing which I would want to describe is if you go to effects, so you will see a lot of these effects there. So most important is in radio is like the amplitude and compression. So amplitude and compression is like one of the very major aspects. So this is like the entire the sound levels, it's going to work on that. So you have the amplify, which is simply like the volume, so you can reduce the volume or increase the volume. So it's these are your presets which are available here, so you can use these. And you know if you play here, so this is like a preview thing, so if you play here, you can actually listen to how much your levels are going, and then accordingly you can apply it. If you find okay it's fine, then you apply it, right? So this is your amplitude. Then we go to channel mixer. So here we just have one channel, so it's just one sound, so we don't need this much. So the most important thing that you will be using is the hard limiting, which is used in radio. So Hard limiting is like you limit it, none of the signal is going to cross whatever you specify over here. So I've kept it at minus 1 dB. So it's not going to touch 0 dB in any case, no matter how much I boost. Okay. So it's going to apply some compression. It's going to, so this is the like the maximum threshold. So it's not going to cross here. Then this is like the input boost, how much you want to boost the audio. And then this is the look ahead time, like, you know, uh, how smooth it should be like. Then this is the release time. So you can keep this to 7 milliseconds and this to 100 milliseconds. And then if you click here, it's like link channel left and right. So it will work on both the channels. And then you apply. So I'll just show you like what I mean to say. So suppose we have these signals and we want to apply the compression, right? So we go here, hard limiting. So we hard limited -1, and let's apply it and see. So you see, the volume has increased, but it has not reached the peak. So we can further apply it. So come here, hard limiter, apply, further go down and apply. So we go back again, hard limiting, apply it. So you see here, I have, specified the threshold to be -1. So now if you see here, this is not crossing -1. I can apply it once again. See here, and still you see it's the, like the variations that is reducing, but at no point is the signal crossing -1 dB. So this is what we do with hard limiting. So you can apply this, like maybe if you record a voiceover or something, and then what happens is you use this feature and make your the audio, the voiceover sound equal, like balanced. So like the person talking, maybe his volume sometimes can go down, sometimes his volume can go up, but you want to maintain a consistency in his volume, make it constant. So this hard limiting, it works wonderfully, because like maybe in the background if you put some music, now where the speaker's volume is going down, the person speaking, okay, the voiceover, the narration, whatever, if that volume is going down, so what happens is it's going to you know get suppressed by the background music. So you don't want that to happen. You want the speech to be absolutely clear. So when for that we will be using this feature. It works wonderfully, and also for the final mixes, wherein like if you see this entire file, okay, so you see at points the volume is less. Over here the volume is more. Over here the volume is still too less. So if you want to make it equal, so you can apply this hard limiting feature. So let's apply and see. And now if you see here, there's a spike. Okay, here there's a spike. So we don't want that. And similarly here also there's a spike, right? So it has touched 0 dB and we don't want that happening. So what we can do is let us apply the hard limiting and make the signal sound equal, right? So let's see what's happening. So, okay, you see now. So initially it was like this, and now after applying that effect, you see it's become, this is not shooting up, it's reached -1. The other levels have boosted up. So this little part we see is like not very even. So we can apply hard limiting to this segment. So you see now, so the signals are becoming equal. Similarly here also we can apply hard limiting. So after applying it here, you see now these signals are more or less becoming pretty similar. Then similarly, you can apply here. So in radio, we prefer to keep the signals, you know, quite same, like, you know, maintain the balance. So, so you can limit like this, and you see now the signals are pretty much equal. So this way you can apply hard limiting and make the signals uh, like become equal and things like that. So this effect is quite handy, and especially for voiceovers, it's very good to use this effect. Then after this, we have the echo and delay, which is there. So you can apply echo and delay. Then we this is very important, like parametric equalizer, and you have 10 band, 20 band, 30 band graphic equalizer. So this parametric equalizer, as you can see, so this I made a preset. So this is for radio. So if you have a normal voice, let's say for example,
but because they have to be brought into their life. Ambrish Saxena, Yashashvika ji, and Asha ji.
so if you see here, somebody is
Thank our
speaking.
respected ma'am. Course on media literacy for school students. The
Okay.
benefits of media literacy for students are multiple. First and foremost, media literacy helps students to become wiser consumers.
So now if I want to make it sound telephonic, I can go to effects, equalizer, parametric equalizer. I'm selecting parametric is like you have to manually do things on this. So you can listen to the
Consumers of
preview.
media as well as responsible producers of their own media.
So you see here
Along those same
the
lines,
audio
teaching
is,
media literacy helps to foster critical thinking
the
skills in
lows are cut,
students.
only the mid frequency is audible. Okay. So if you want to listen to it in a loop, you can just
A
select
very
it
good
here.
morning to one and all present here.
Then
I,
you have the
Lavanya
different
Jha,
presets.
student of class 11th from Delhi World Public School, Noida Extension, take this opportunity to thank Delhi Metropolitan
So
Education, Noida, Sir Dr. Ambrish Saxena, the members of
so like if you
Adamas
want it to
University,
sound like
Kolkata, for the initiative to
radio,
organize an intense course on media literacy for school students. The benefits of
what you
media
can do
literacy
is
for students are
just cut
multiple.
all these.
First and foremost, media literacy helps students to become wiser consumers of media as well as responsible producers of their own media. Along those same
You see.
lines, teaching media literacy helps to foster critical thinking skills in students. A very good morning to one and all
So this is
present
like
here.
it's sounding
I,
like
Lavanya Jha, student of class 11th
as
from
if
Delhi
somebody
World
is
Public
speaking
School,
over the
Noida
phone.
Extension,
So
take this opportunity to thank Delhi
this is how you
Metropolitan.
can work out, the various audio elements. Or if it is in a phone, bad quality sound also, you can do a lot of mixing this way. So this is a very important feature. So this is basically graphic equalizer. This is not a graphic equalizer, sorry. So this is a parametric equalizer, and now coming to graphic equalizer. So graphic equalizer, you have, like, you go here, equalizer, you go to equalizer, and then you say, for example, let's choose 20 band equalizer. So as you can see here, it's, these are your frequencies. So it starts from 31, like less than 31, 44, 63, 88, 125, 180, 250, and likewise. So what we can do is we can boost or cut the
Education,
frequencies from these.
Noida, Sir Dr.
Okay,
Ambrish
so you can
Saxena,
cut.
the members of
So this is
Adamas
used
University,
a
Kolkata,
lot,
for
when
the
you want to
initiative to
remove
organize an intense
noises or
course
particular
on media
maybe
literacy for
hum or
school
hiss or
students.
something.
The benefits of
So
media literacy for
you can
students are
actually
multiple.
do the
First and
fine tuning
foremost,
of
media
audio
literacy helps students to become
using,
wiser consumers of media as well as responsible
these
producers of their
this
own
particular
media.
tool, the graphic
Along those
equalizer.
same lines,
Okay, so you tune the audio signals according to the way you want using these. Uh, these are particular bands of frequencies. So like this is 1 kilohertz. So you can boost 1 kilohertz or reduce 1 kilohertz. So it's basically like that. So it's for boosting or cutting. So parametric is like smooth. So it will go like smooth like this. So it will make a curve that way. So this is how you have it. So you can have like this is like a 20 band equalizer. Then you can have either like a 10 band equalizer or something. So like if you have equalizer, you can choose 10 band equalizers. This is just 10 bands out here, or else you can choose 30 band. So this is even more complex. So like that. Uh, you can apply. So these two effects are very important. Then one more effect I would want to show you is noise reduction. So these three effects are very, very important. So noise reduction. So what happens is like maybe if I'm having some noise in my signal, so basically this file doesn't have noise. So but many a times files can have noise. So what happens is like you can just go to that file and see where exactly your noise is, and then you can capture the noise print. So once you capture the noise print, after that what happens is, say for example, let me capture a noise print, or say from 1 second. So let's say for example, this is the noise. Okay, so I will go to effects, capture noise print. The current audio section will be captured and loaded in the noise print. Okay, so this has been loaded now. Now I go to noise reduction process, and here you can see this is the noise captured. So I don't want this noise. So from here I can reduce. So this is the actual sound. This is the noise reduced sound, and I can further reduce it. So if maybe I don't want this sound, I can do the adjustments from here and then simply apply. So after I apply, if you see here, it's gone. Then I can apply this whole, you know, the entire thing, this entire uh, process to this entire piece of file over here. So I'll just select this entire thing and apply the effect. Okay. So if I apply, so it affects this entire
Want a
file.
good job in a big city after college? Then don't.
So this is how you can do things. So many times, like when you are going to be recording voices or sounds or bytes from outside, you there can be wind sound, there can be some background noises and all. So this is the best way to get rid of it. Okay. So this is very important feature. So remember the basic three features that I showed you. One is the amplitude and compression, wherein we are using hard limiter. Then the second is the equalizer section, and the third section is the noise reduction section. Then you have other features also, echo delay you can add, then modulation, but we don't do this much. We do use all these in music mostly. Then you have the reverb and all. So these reverbs, of course, if you want to, add some psychoacoustic properties, so you can use all this. Then in specials also you have distortion, vocal enhancer and all, guitar suite and mastering and all that stuff, which in radio is not much advisable or of much utility. So then you have the pitch shifter. You can use stereo and pitch shift to shift make the voice thin or thick, heavy. So like that. So like that, and then we have the other VST plugins and all. So or else you can also see the FX rack. If you see here, you can add multiple effects over here. So one is the property, other is the FX rack. So if you add those effects here, so maybe like if I want to add one equalizer, say parametric equalizer, so I have it here. So and then here you want to add something else. So for example, you want to add some uh, say reverb. Okay, so maybe you can add a full reverb here, right? So this is how like it works. So maybe I'll choose a simple reverb. So there can be issues like if your system is not supporting. So this is supporting. So we can take this studio reverb and add it here, and then your main file stays impact. Sorry, your main file stays intact, wherein you can tweak the functions here. So if you double click, so you get those racks pop out, and then you can do your changes or whatever, and then save the file, right? So this is one way of doing things, and then you can switch it on or off from here, these effects, if you want them or not, and likewise. So this is the feature, and then now I will show you working on multi-track. So for example, I'll just make a demo session. uh, let's just rename it something else, RJNR demo, say for example. So sample rate 48 kilohertz at 16-bit I've chosen, and master is stereo. So once you make that, then this is the multi-track. So you see these are the separate tracks that you have. Okay, so there are multiple tracks. You can have so many tracks in here, right? So what happens is, then this is my audio. I can drag and drop my audio over here. So see, it's going to adjust all that sample rate and everything to the sample rate and sampling frequency of this particular session. So it's going to convert in that. And then here what happens is, you can mute this track, you can solo this track, you can record on this track. So like when I'm speaking, you see, so it's showing the signal. So if I want to record something, I can record it over here. So maybe if I want to record something in this track, so it's showing. And then if I play the record button, so you see it started recording whatever I'm speaking. Okay, all the signals are being recorded in real time. So this is one of the features. And then what happens is, you can play it back also. So let's play it back. We'll stop the recording here. And let's play it back. Speaking. Okay, all the signals are being recorded in real time. So this is one of the features. And then what happens is, you can play it back also. So as you can see, like, so multiple, you can record live, or you can, like, this track on top is already a pre-recorded, like the audio file is already there. So I use this in that, and then here what is happening is, I recorded it a live audio. So like that you can do. So or else you can also record in the wave. If you go to waveform, so there are these files. So you go and create a new file, new. So new audio file. So you have a new audio file, and if you want to record, then I'll just press record, and I start speaking something, and it is recording. So you see, this is how my voice is getting recorded. And if you see here, like, there are these peaks and all, and some places it's low. So what I can do is, as I told you, we can apply some hard limiting to it. So you go to effects, apply hard limiting. So you see now these peaks are reduced. You see, it's not touching zero, so I can still uh, go and apply that same effect once or twice again. So you see here the volume is becoming more or less, you know, leveled, and it's increasing also, and it's it's like, maintaining some balance in that. So here you are, and I start speaking something and it is recording. So you see, this is how my voice is getting recorded. I'll just press record and I start speaking. So like that. So, and then if you want to edit certain parts, don't want this part, you just delete it, select delete it. Recording. This is how I don't want this thing, so I can get rid of this. So recording. This is how my voice is getting recorded. So stuff like that, and then you clean the audio, all that process. And as I was telling you about the multi-track. So this is the multi-track session. You have your audio here. You can do your here. You can like go and cut and manipulate your audio in different forms. So likewise, so you have the selection tool. So if you want to make some selection or something, you can do it from here. And so like this is like the basics of working on a multi-track session. And then if you want to tweak the equalizer, so you double click here, so equalizer opens up, and you can do the frequency tweaking from here, right? And then here you have the levels, volume, as you can see. This is the balance, left or right panning. Then you have mute, solo, record for each track. And this is for the automation. If you want to do the automation, like increasing the volume or decreasing the volume levels, so you can do it here from here in real time. So like that, you can work on this. And this is how, like, the entire thing works. So this is the basic way of working on your uh, multi-track session. And then what happens is, like, you can mix the audio from here. So like you can drag and drop, maybe like you want this to come the features. And then what happens is you can play it back also. So let's play it back. So we'll stop the recording here.
The first impression that comes to our mind about any college, assignments, buildings, class tests, and classrooms, large lobby areas, every hour, minute, second spent here help us carving and shaping.
So this is like how you can work on multi-track and do your editing, cut and move around, and do the mixing part. So you have the canvas. And then what I want to tell you is how to export. Suppose you want to export your audio, like you've already made a mix down. This again volume. As you can see, if you hover over here, it'll show minus plus. So like that. And from here, what happens is, like, you can roll this audio up, and like the edges you can trim. And say for example, this is our mix and you want to now export only this much part. Okay, so say like this much part, so I use the selection thing. And okay, so I made a selection here, and as you see, the in and out marking points are also visible over here. In and out marking points are here. And then I just want to export this little mix down. So I go to files, export, multi-track mix down, time selection. Okay, because like I've selected from this point to this point, so I'll go to time selection. And then you can name it where exactly you want to save it. Then the format, like for radio, the standard format is 48 kilohertz at 32-bit width. 128 or 360 kbps MP3 format, right? And then if you press OK, the file renders and you have your mixed down file. So this is the entire process of working on Adobe Audition. So I showed you the waveform editor and I showed you the multi-track editor, right? So this is how we work on that entire platform. And the most favorable software to use for radio production is Adobe Audition. So these are the basics. I showed you the canvas. I showed you these tracks which are there. Okay, the multi-tracks, how you can work with these multi-track and have multiple different audio and you can mix it down. So um, it's uh, it's a very nice software. The most important thing is like you need to start working on it and brushing up your skills. So um, this is how this entire Adobe Audition works. And Adobe Audition is a very preferred software to work on in radio. So this is how you go about things on Adobe Audition. So main two important features here are the waveform editor and the multi-track editor. And that is how you can mix your audio, clean up your audio, and make your programs and packaging and add in effects and make your radio programs.